You would never assume that this place is a place of strong Scottish heritage and history, but here we are. Here's my trusty steed. I'm gonna just hide that helmet. Worry about that later. This is the Wallace Fields. 4 brand new show homes to be launched. Sales and marketing suite. This is what the locals have complained about in regards to this site, that we're going to go and show you right now. This is where William Wallace was captured by the English, right in amongst a lot of houses, a lot of housing estates. There's not many signs up for it, it's just dotted in the middle. This is the location that William Wallace was captured by the English forces. Here we are. We are not here to sue for peace, but to fight for the freedom of our country. Wallace, Stirling Bridge. Amazing, eh? And this is the backdrop that surrounds it. Big housing estate. Now, I've read online that a lot of people have complained 10 years ago, before this was even built, just because of this such significance in this area. But of course, since those complaints, it's gotten a lot worse, not better, as you can see. That's how close the housing estate is to this monument. Wee poem there by Burns. Who dared to nobly stem tyranny, pride, or nobly die? Abby Burns, famous Scottish poet. The Wallace Moody, they call it. Amazing, eh? Dico tibi virum libertas optima rerum ninquam servali sub nexu vitovo fili, taught to Wallace in his boyhood. This memorial, erected in 1900 AD by public subscription to mark the site of the house in which the hero of Scotland was basely betrayed and captured about midnight on the 5th of August 1305, when alone with his faithful friend and co-patriot Kelly, who was slain. Wallace's heroic patriotism, as conspicuous in his death as it is in his life, so roused and has inspired his country that within 9 years of his betrayal, the work of his life was crowned with victory in Scotland's independence, regained on the field of Bannockburn. It says on that wee stone there, the stone was placed to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the Robroyston Wallace Monument, which was erected in August the 5th, 2000. The Society of William Wallace. Now, this isn't a very known site, apart from the people that stay around here, which in my opinion is quite sad, because William Wallace is obviously a known character in Scottish history, and you've got the big monument up at Stirling for the Battle of Bannockburn, but you've not got anything. You don't hear much about here, and I've read a lot about it online, and they're trying to promote it. But it's a really cool site. Apparently William Wallace, what they believe to be true is that apparently William Wallace actually slept in this very spot the night he was captured. And yeah, it's kind of amazing being here to know that he actually walked across this bit and actually slept. But it's amazing how different the landscape would have been back then. There's a big forest in there with just fields, but of course, as I've mentioned a few times already, the housing estate's just overtaken it, which is kind of obviously a road as well right next to it. People not really batting an eyelid. Let's see what the Glasgow City Council said about it. Wallace as well, which we'll also visit. I believe Wallace as well is down that direction up there, which I've never been to personally. So we'll check that out. It says here, the Celtic Cross monument to Sir William Wallace was raised by public subscription through the efforts of the Rev. David McCrea and the Scottish Patriotic Society. There's a wee image there. Looks like an old photo. The monument marks the reputed site of the house in which William Wallace was betrayed. So this must have been a house. This wall here must have, I imagine, been... It would have definitely been around this area, but this must have been a kind of hut, obviously, and it's the Scottish Highlands, or well, Scottish Midlands. I don't imagine they're doing much else, maybe a couple of houses. There's the man himself, supposedly, of course. The cross was executed by McGlashan Sculptors, Edinburgh, and is derived from St Martin's Cross, Iona. So it's talking about that thing up there. Looks fairly old. The 20-foot high Celtic cross was unveiled before a crowd of 1,000 at 4:30 PM on Saturday the 4th of August 1900. So 123 years ago. It's amazing. By Miss Emmeline McKerley, a direct descendant of Kelly, who was Wallace's faithful friend who was slain on that fateful night. Wow. So basically a ancestor of the person who accompanied Wallace on that night, who was killed, goes by the name of Kelly. Their descendant is the one who actually erected this stone, which is amazing. Another photo of the site there when it's a lot nicer weather than this cold and dreary Scottish day today. One of the inscriptions on the monument reads, Wallace's heroic patriotism as conspicuous in his death as in his life, so roused and inspired his country that within 9 years of his betrayal the working life was crowned a victory and Scotland's independence regained on the field of Bannockburn. Yeah, I've read that already. That was Robert the Bruce that carried out that victory at Bannockburn. Wallace was betrayed on the 5th of August 1305 by a Scottish knight named Sir John de Menteith, who was loyal to Edward, the English king. He turned over a table in a tavern as a sign to the English that the brigand was among them. Wow. After his capture, Wallace was marched to London, tried for treason and declared guilty at Westminster Hall. The Scottish hero, who was 33 at the time, was then dragged through the streets before being hung, drawn and quartered, with his body parts displayed in various parts of Scotland as a warning to others. The cottage from where Wallace was taken stood until 1826. Okay, so approximately 200 years ago. The well in its current form dates from about 1911, although they were earlier memorials. Wallace's well, which is where we're going to be heading right now, about a 5-minute walk from the memorial next to the roadside near the farm of Royston Mains, which I imagine is down there, as I've said. An ancient spring is said to have been used by the Scottish patriot and freedom fighter William Wallace while hiding in a nearby cottage. That's the well, if you can see that. We'll go have a visit there. Tradition has it that when the great Scottish patriot visited Robroyston town, Robroyston as it's now known, on his way to Glasgow to plead with the Bishop of Glasgow, Robert Wishart, for assistance in his fight for Scottish independence some 900 years ago, he was accustomed to drink the waters from this little well. So William Wallace, actually drank from this well. Now, I'm not actually sure where this well is. No signage, nothing, which I think tells you the entire story. I'm kind of walking aimlessly right now around this area with cars looking at me, wondering what I'm up to, but we've got this, whatever this is, some water. I think that's to do with the homes that are getting built here. A lot of signs for new houses, but nothing about the historic site of one of Scotland's greatest sons, you know what I mean? So, a little bit strange on that front, but we push on regardless. I'm going to try it over here. Let's have a wee journey, see what's up here. So Wallace is obviously a massive part of Scotland's history, and maybe people just aren't really bothered about it anymore. A lot of nice houses, but I'm not actually sure where this leads. No, this isn't it, so we're just going to head back down. Hopefully I'm able to discover this secret well and find it. I imagine it's just maybe a little bit further along. I've obviously not went far enough along the road, but I think I found it. Just went up this little map, this little pathway here, but it's certainly not an easy place to find. As you can tell, the wind isn't really helping. We'll try and see if we can get you this. There's not even a path. There's a stream there, so imagine we're very close. There's not even a path to this well. That's how hidden it is. Houses again. There's a pavement there. Some shattered concrete. So yeah, my impression of this is that it's a little bit sad, as I've said. I don't imagine many tourists come here or even know about this. The hills look kind of cool though. You can imagine what this place must have looked like 700 years ago, 900 years ago on the battlefield. Scottish warriors hiding from the English. Just a normal day in the 14th century. I think we have made it. Look at this. Somebody's left some flowers. So this was the well that William Wallace himself would have drank out of 900 years ago. I'm not too sure I'd be drinking that water, but when you're getting chased down by the English, maybe I would be. Maybe there wouldn't be much water going. These look like an old set of flowers. They've probably been here since William Wallace has. All joking aside though, what a place to not know about. It's only a 5-minute walk down, and this is it. It's just got a wee barrier next to the stream, and it's just a bit surreal, kind of picturing what that would have been like 900 years ago. It's very hard to do obviously when you've got cars ringing in your ear, but when you've got water in the wee stream you can almost picture it. Maybe got a bucket with a rope and rainwater possibly coming down into here, and just every day possibly, once a week. Amazing. Just take a wee walk over this bridge. So yeah, that's a Scottish national site that not many people talk about, not many people even know exist, right next to a road. Free friend to come down at any time, have a wee look around. We'll just head back up, and I think I'll leave you there. An outstanding sight in my opinion. The fact that such a iconic figure in Scottish history was actually in this spot, drank from this well, slept in that house. It just kind of makes you proud to be Scottish, and it makes you feel at home in the country. And I think more people should respect the history of these kind of places. But with housing estates right next door, no signs up, I didn't even know where this was. It's a shame, and I think more people should maybe start recognising it and taking care and being interested in this sort of thing. So I just wanted to make this wee video on that, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.